Hello, my name is Lodewijk and welcome to my channel. When you first start out with mod 16, it can be very overwhelming. And without the correct starter build, you will die a lot and find it very frustrating. With this in mind, I created this video to provide players a basis to start from once the mod hits. This build will help you do current content as well as aid you in doing the new campaign. Since it is meant for both high and low level players, I will be using the free gear that is supplied to you at the start of mod 16. However, I would recommend sticking with the gear you have if your current gear is better than this gear. As for artifacts, I will be using the artifacts I'm currently using in mod 15, and I recommend you do the same. The starter artifacts that you get from the mission is not that great. Just keep in mind that mod 16 do provide us a lot better rank 80 artifacts that you can get later on through the campaign through things like the expeditions. When it comes to companions, I will just use the current companions I have already. The reasoning behind that is I feel that there might still be a few companion adjustments shortly after the launch of mod 16, and I do not want to spend 80 on companions that might be worthless in a week or two. As for my summoned companion, I generally use a healer or a tanking companion when I do my missions, my daily missions, and when I do dungeons and run content with other players, I use an augmented pet. So let's get started and log in and see what exactly it looks like the first time you log in to mod 16. As you can see, I have a lot of things happening here at the same time. Some of my quests have expired, and some of the pets actually shows up as newly found pets, even though I had it before, and I even have a pet that wants me to rename it. Then next you will also notice that I immediately get a dialogue asking me to reset my powers. As you can notice, all my powers, my feats, my boons, and my ability scores have been reset. Let's have a look at my options I have on the power. You'll notice I've got two paths to follow. The Thaumaturge, which is perfect for area of effect, and Arcanist, which is great for single target combat. And let's just have a quick look at the empty boons tab. You'll see on the left hand side we have PvP, guild boons and campaigns. Your guild boons will stay the same as always. You'll probably be using defense or hit points and on the defensive side and power on your offensive side. As for companions, everything has been removed and added into your bag, and your mounts have remained exactly the same as it was in mod 15. Okay, so I paused the video and I did the starter campaign up until you receive the gear set. I did this in order to not spoil the campaign. Okay, I'm back, so let's have a look at what I actually got. So, oops, wrong one, sorry. Okay, so what they gave me is both the rings, my neck piece. I'm going to try and sort it so we have it in the order that we're going to add it. My waist, which will be there. We have my headpiece, my feet, my shirt. Just take that down one. And then we have, this is my necklace, which should be there that side. Then we have my main hand and off hand, which will be those two. I think it's the wrong way around, yes. Then they provide us with 3 companion gear sets. I'll look at the stats of everything in just a moment. And then the artifacts which we will not be using. Okay, so let's have a look at what they gave us. The first thing is the companion gear they gave us. So you can see it has a combined rating of 644, a critical avoidance and a combat advantage. For those of you that do not know what the combined rating does, is it actually goes and adds 644 to most of your stats. But except for a few, for example, hit points do not get additions from the combined rating. Okay, then we look at our second companion gear that gives us defense and deflect with also combined of 644. And finally the mountain tag, which gives us a combined of 644 and crit and accuracy. These are okay, but you can get much better starter companion gear from the Illusionist Gambit or the Merchant Prince Folly. It's very fast to farm. I would recommend doing that and trying to get gear with 2 offensive slots. Next up, we're going to look at our headpiece, what it gives us. They give us a rank 8 Azure in our utility slot. They give it gives combined rating, defense, power, and maximum hit points. When your health is greater than 75, your crit strike is increased by 1,500. Then we go to the robes. It gives you defense, power, and maximum hit points, and a 5% damage in all of Barovia, which is not going to help us at all. Also gives us a nice dark to increase our hit points. Then we go for the Undermountain Armlet. Sorry, before I forget, let me just mention this. These rank 8 enchantments is only for your first character. If you have more than one character, the other characters usually get lower ranks. I believe it is rank 6. Okay, so that is our armlets. Then we go for our main hand as well as our offhand. Right. Then our feet. I'm seeing a lot of radiance, which is nice. Offensive, neck, our belt, our 2 rings, and our shirt and pants. Right, so let's equip that quickly and see where we are. What I'm going to do, however, is I am going to equip a armor enchantment that we will not have here. Okay, currently I have the Vorpal on this character, which is not the ideal one, so I'll go get on one of my other tunes, go get my... sorry, I've got a Fae. I'll go get my Vorpal on one of the other tunes. So let's have a look at the character itself quickly. Sorry. There we go. So there we are. If you look at my item level, it's already at 10.32. And I've got a power of 35k. I'm standing in the workshop because the workshop is a rank 70 zone. I wanted to show you the stats as I add to it. If I was in the stronghold, for example, which is a rank 80 zone, my stats would be altered from the real stats. Right. So other thing we need to do is add these 3 to our companion. So let's do that quickly. And there we go. We add our 3 equipment. I'll get some enchantments for that in just a little while. Then we go and we add our bondings. Remember, you can now only have bonding runestones in the runestone slots of your companion. Okay, I am not going to use the tiger because I'm going to be running solo content. I'm going to have a look at either running the Lelent for healing or the let's see, or the Alchemist for healing and DPS. But I think I'm going to try the Lelent for now. So let's bring that up. Another nice one would also be something like the Earth Archon, which is a nice tanky companion. Let's use that, summon it. Okay, as you can see, my Lelent is brand new. It hasn't even leveled yet, which is not a good thing for me at this time, but that's fine. As long as it heals me, it's okay. By just doing that, let's just go have a look at our stats. Again, 35k power, and I'm already on 14k item level by just adding those few items. So let's go and look at the next step. Okay, I'm not going to do power now. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to start with the ability scores. Right. Now, before mod 16, you had the ability to roll for your stats here. This has been removed. All classes have fixed stats for the specific class. So in the case of the control wizard, let me just go through each one of them first. So the first one is your strength, which increases your stamina and physical damage. Now, since it's physical damage, control wizard doesn't use that, so we're going to be skipping on that. The next one is constitution. It gives you hit points and AP. AP is very good for fast dailies, especially since the cooldowns has been increased dramatically. So this is a very good option, especially with the hit points that will help with our survivability in the early stages. Next, dexterity, crit severity, and movement speed. Okay, if we need crit severity, we can use that, though I don't think we're going to be needing crit severity. Control bonus and magical damage boost under intelligence. So magical damage boost, that's for magical characters like the wizard. Sorry, I keep saying control wizard, it's wizard now. Strength would be used for characters like the great weapon fighter, not great weapon fighter, barbarian, and the fighter that is was formerly known as the guardian fighter. Next up, we're looking at wisdom, which gives you control resist and outgoing healing. And finally, charisma, which gives you companion influence and recharge speed. Now, recharge speed is very nice. So we're going to have to decide between constitution and recharge speed. Charisma, which will give us recharge speed. So I think what we're going to do is firstly invest in intelligence, then charisma, intelligence, charisma. Then I'm going to put 1 in constitution, intelligence, and then charisma and intelligence. Okay, so the final one we are going to put in recharge speeds as well. Okay, we'll have to find a different way of getting our AP up faster. Okay, so let's have a look at that. That will put us nicely. It will give me a 4.5% boost, which is not a lot. That's one of the things they did, is the stats that we get from ability score is not that impressive anymore. So next up, let's have a look at our powers. Okay, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create 2 loadouts for this video. The first loadout will be called mod 16 area of effect, AoE, and the second one would be mod 16 boss. Okay, single target loadout. So we don't want to be on boss, we want to be on area of effect. There we go. This game. Okay, so next we go to powers. Right, we have two paths here, the Thaumaturge and the Arcanist. The Thaumaturge would be for area of effect, and the Arcanist would be for single target DPS. In the case of the Thaumaturge, you don't really need to worry about the specific sequence of spells you cast. All you need to do is concentrate on getting as many of the mob together so that your area of effect can stack up and do decent damage. Right, so what we're going to do is select that. And there we go. Okay, at wills. The at will we actually want is Chilling Cloud. But since we can't have that yet, what I'm going to do is I am going to start with Scorching Burst, sorry. And then just no, I want that one there. I can't drag it anymore. Okay, so let me do it this way around then. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that. Something to notice as well, if I hover over it, you'll see there's something called magnitude now. and that is basically the strength of the spell. Okay, so next up we are going to look at our encounters. In my tab I'm going to be using Entangled Force. Next up I'm going to use my Icy Terrain on Q. I just like it there. Then I am going to put my Fanning the Flames and Conduit of Ice. Okay, all nice area of effect spells. When it comes to my dailies, I am going to use Furious Immobilization. The reasoning for that is it is very nice to pull a group of mobs together, and then also Oppressive Force, which will give me nice DPS. Next up, we are going to look at our class features. I like Evocation, right? And I would go for Critical Conflagration. English language can be difficult for me sometimes. Okay, there we go. So let me just quickly show them for you. It will increase your damage of your area of effect powers by 5%, and the other one is you gain 10% crit severity, and whenever you critical strike with one of your powers, you add Smolder to your target. Okay, so next we are going to look at our feats. Just quickly get my notes up here. Okay, there we go. Right, our feats. With our feats, you've got a choice between speed up your cooldown rate of your powers by 1% for each stack of chill on your target, which is nice since you will have a lot of chill, or you can, when Smolder deals damage to an enemy, you gain 0.25 of your action points. This is a bit difficult for you. This is a difficult choice. I think I'm going to go with Relative Haste. Even though the AP is nice, I do have a mount that gives me AP boost. I have. There we go. No, not that one. Where is it? Yeah. Your daily power grants 10% of your total action points. So I'll be running that, which means I don't need as much as bigger AP boost, even though the daily will charge slow. I think I'm going to go for faster cooldown since we need that. We need to have our spells faster. Just to show you, Icy Terrain takes 18 seconds to cool down. Fanning the Flames 21 seconds, and Conduit of Ice 12.4 seconds, as well as Entangling Force 15.3 seconds. So cooldowns is a big problem, and you no longer have DCs that will be able to speed it up. The Cleric in mod 16 do not have any power like that. Okay, so what we said is we're going to go for haste, yeah? Speed up our spells a little bit. Next up, we are going to look at whenever you activate an encounter power, all foes within 50 feet of you have one stack of chill applied to them, or Smolder Flames now radiate, dealing 20% of their normal damage to afflict enemies within 15 feet of the primary target. I like that one, because we are going to use Smolder a lot. Then Frigid Winds, or Shatter Strike. Okay, I'm going to say this is one of those, another one of those ones I have to decide. We're going to go with Shatter Strike. Next up, we have an option between Critical Severity or increase 10% more, 25% more critical damage. We're definitely going that way. Okay, here we go, and that is it. That brings us to our boons. Let's have a look at the boons. Okay, so the boons basically, as you can see, have different levels. The more you open, the more tiers open. There's 4 tiers to select from, and then there's 2 bonus tiers, a tier 5 and a master boon 1. Now from the master boon, you can only select one of the groups, and you can max it out to 3. From the tier 5, you can select 2, and you can max it out as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to quickly do is just look at my stats and see where we are currently. If I look at my crit severity, it's 102%, so we don't really need that much crit severity added to us currently. Okay, so other than that, we've got 35k power, 28k armor pen, defense, crit strike, crit avoidance, and combat advantage is kind of big for a toon that I haven't invested anything in yet. Okay, so let's go. First things first, power. I want to max that out. Then we can have a look at crit strike. Yes, we want to max that out as well. Okay, so it's opening tier 2 for us. Again, we want to invest as much as possible into our power. Gives us an option of armor pen. Since we still need some armor pen, we invest into that as well. Again, power. Then it gives us combat advantage. Right now, I'm not going to invest much into that. I'm going to try and concentrate on critical strike because I'm going to be using a Vorpal weapons enchantment. But if you're not going to be using a Vorpal, then I recommend actually going into combat advantage here to get your combat advantage up. Let's just have a look at the other ones. Increase maximum hit points is nice, so we're going to have a look at that as well. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to give us some maximum hit points there, and the same here. Okay, again, power, power, and power. So we give ourselves some power. We have to look at increase accuracy. Accuracy would be nice, so we add that. Deflect, not right now. Maximum hit points, I think we've added enough for now. Resistance, no. Control resistance, no. And that is for healing, not yet. Okay, so we need to choose 2 of these. How many is that? 6, 7. So increase incoming healing, heal bonus by 1%. Increase your crit severity. Now our crit severity is quite nice, so we might not want to select that. Increase the stamina. Increase outgoing healing. We're not going to heal anyone, so we don't need that. Increase action point gain. That could be useful. Increase recovery speed, faster spells, that could be useful, and then control bonus. So of the 3 would be these 3 to choose between. Control bonus would be nice, but because of the extreme slowness of your encounters recharge speed, I would go for that, and we want our daily up fast as well. Okay, so I'm just going to commit this for now. We still have 12 points to spend. Excuse me. Okay, so let's have a look at the top spells here. Deathly Rage, chance on kill to do the following: increase combat advantage, increase damage, and add 4000 damage for each rank. Okay, this is probably the one we're going to go for, but let's just go through all of them and have a look. Chance on kill to do the following: increase defense, increase crit avoidance, and temporary hit points. So this is more defensive. A chance on encounter to use the following: decrease target's awareness, do an additional attack, and increase action point gain. This is not bad, but I don't think it's ideal for us. Chance on encounter, use to do the following: decrease target's armor pen, decrease target, and mirrors all incoming damage. Then apply damage over time, that's nice. Add additional damage and add chance of stealing life. That is a very, very good option. The problem is the problem is you need to be below 30% health, and we prefer not to be below 30% health, so we're going to try and use potions when we're close to the 30% health, so that will probably never trigger. And this one is the same, you have to be below 30% health, so we're going to skip that one. Chance when you heal for at least 10% of the target's health, the following effects will apply to you. Okay, so this will probably happen a lot. So this is not a bad option if you want to go for that. It gives you a heal over time, it gives you a power per rank, and reduce your recharge of abilities by 2% per rank. That's nice. Apply heal over time, increase the maximum health and health stamina. This is also if you receive a heal of more than 10%. These will trigger a lot if you want, but I still feel inclined to go for that one. Okay, it will only allow me 2 because we haven't invested enough yet. So let's see what we can invest in more. So at the bottom we have an option of critical avoidance, maximum hit points, increased damage and damage resistant versus cultists, or gold gain. Okay, nope. Again, we have health potions, increase does more healing for you. Then we go increase movement speed, increase damage and damage resistance versus demons. I'm gonna invest into this because a lot of the game has demons. For example, Tong. Then we go increase your defense, increase your combat advantage, increase your awareness rating, increase your damage and damage resistance versus dinosaurs, increase companion influence, and okay, deflect, hit points, damage versus undead, and control resistance. So I think our best option would probably be companion or combat advantage. Okay, so for now, since we're going to be low and we're not going to meet the minimum for combat advantage, we're going to invest in that. And I don't think we have anything else to invest in, so I'm going to put some more into hit points to give us just that little bit more of survivability. That should open our final one here. Yes, it does. There we go. So we have that. Guild boons. I'm not in a guild currently. I'll put this character in a guild very soon, but we will probably want to go for power and then either hit points or defense. And you can go for, where is it? Increase healing from healing potions. You can go for speed here on utility, or I think there was one, I don't know if I'm mistaken. Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah, I will go between that and speed maybe. And PvP we're not going to look at because we're not going to do PvP with this build. Okay, we're in Barovia, and what I did before I came here is I quickly added weapon and armor enchantment. The weapon enchantment was a Vorpal, and the armor enchantment is a Blood Theft to help me with survivability. So what we're going to be trying and doing is lure the enemies towards our icy terrain and then use our area effect powers to bunch them up and then melt them using damage. Okay, back in the workshop, there's a couple of changes that I did in Barovia as I was doing the heroic encounters that I found made my life a little bit easier, so I thought I'll share it with you. The first thing I did was I took a companion that would pull aggro. In this case, it was the Sergeant Nox companion. But that caused my healing to drop dramatically. So what I needed to do is select Redemption. What Redemption does is it gives you a chance on hit to heal you and your companion for 4% of your maximum health over 15 seconds when your companion is near. The value of this buff depends on the quality of the summoned pet. Okay, so my Sergeant Nox was orange, so that means I didn't have any problems there. Then the second one I did is I went over to mounts and I selected Knight's Rebuke. Now what Knight's Rebuke does is whenever you receive combat advantage damage from you, and I got that a lot with mobs swarming me, you are healed for 1.5% of your maximum hit points over 5 seconds. Okay, so that is that. As you can see, the stats of this bare bones character, I did not use any fancy gear or anything, is 17.53k. I've got a 60,000 power and a 44,000 armor pen. My crit strike was 59,000 and my combat advantage 52,000. Now this is not ideal for level 80 content yet, but as you would progress through the campaign, you will improve this. I would also did not need to worry about my crit severity as it was over 100. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you and happy gaming.